everyone. Welcome in. This is not another sports show.
This is your sports show.
And I'm Brian DiNatale.
And I'm Cujo.
And man, we are back for another exciting week of football.
Can you believe it's already week 8 of college?
Week 8 of college, week 7 of NFL. It's crazy. We had some big games this week. Of course, we talked about them all week. The Ohio State and Oregon game, the Texas and Oklahoma.
Oh,
man, there are some big ones. A lot of these
games lived up to the hype.
They did.
I think, the only one that really didn't was obviously the Texas game.
Well, and as far as our hype goes, it did, because we definitely thought that Texas was going to stomp.
Yeah, and they did. 34-3. They just crushed Oklahoma.
Yeah, and we're not really surprised, are we? My boy Ewers, 199 yards, touchdown.
But is he your boy though? Last week. You're like Arch Manning. Like where are we at? Where?
But what's my bet on? My bet says
Ewers
Ewers. Which is probably now out of question, even though they are still killing it.
They're the one. They got a couple more big games where if he plays well, like you could say he's the most battle-tested quarterback.
That's true. His numbers really weren't that great when you look at him. He had an interception, only 199. He also ran one in though, so
it's not a bad day.
It's a plus.
He did enough. The real story here, obviously, Quintravion Wisner had 13 carries, 118 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a running story.
The line.
Yeah, it was not a passing story.
And the Oklahoma offense was held to 237 yards, so they were just held in check all day by Texas's defense.
And I think the story here, too, is more so that Oklahoma sucks. And we've been talking about that for a while. And suck is also like they
suck by Oklahoma standards.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, because
this is not an Oklahoma offense. This offense is bad.
No, that's the thing, is like we're comparing it to other Oklahoma teams, and we're also comparing it to just the fact that they are ranked 18.
Yeah.
Which, you are playing the number one team in the country, but
you're at home. This is a rivalry game. You would think you'd want to be a little more competitive than this, though.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in Oklahoma is going to be happy. They're like, Texas was one. We weren't supposed to win. I don't think that's really the mentality down there.
What I did like to see was they stabbed the Baker Mayfield jersey.
Baker didn't give a fuck.
Oh, no, I love it.
Living rent free.
Yeah, his response to that was great. He's like, hey, living rent free for the last 10 years, I ain't got no problem with that.
Right.
I'd be the same way. So, no, that was, definitely not as high, exciting of a game.
No, it was
kind of went how we thought it would go.
Yeah.
I think only people overhyping it maybe were Oklahoma fans, people who didn't believe that what they were seeing out of Oklahoma this season.
They're like, we're still good enough. They had only one loss coming into that game.
Yeah.
But
they were a lot of hairy wins as well, though.
They were very hairy.
But,
we're not even to No Shave November yet.
Yeah, you can't be having that. But what wasn't hairy, actually was very hairy, was the Ohio State-Oregon game. Man, right down to the wire. I got to say, it could have gone either way, but, I thought Ohio State was going to handle business here, and, man, we've been, kind of down on Oregon, even though, they've been there the whole season.
They've won, but, none of it's been convincing. It feels like they just squeak out wins, which was fine.
But
we thought it was going to come, when you actually play a really, really good team in Ohio State, you can't do that shit.
Turns out.
It's a weird, this game is kind of weird to me because, I can see the argument of, Ohio State should have won this game.
Yeah.
But also, Oregon probably should have won by more. Oregon shot themselves in the foot a lot, too. Bad special teams plays. Oregon did a lot of things wrong and still was able to squeak it out. Obviously, Howard not getting down in time is rough. He's like a 12-year veteran. You would think he a little more.
Something like that, yeah.
I think so. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Obviously I took Ohio State. Listener Kevin was on the Oregon side, and that was the right side to be on.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta listen to what the listeners are providing us information.
This is their show.
This is their
not
show.
Ours, so
it turned out that was who you should have been listening to this week. But yeah, that's rough for the Ohio State fans. Granted,
they'll still be fine.
It's 1 point, and you lost on mismanagement.
At the road,
of something
too.
that you could have won. Yeah, on the road, it's not going to hurt them too much. It's not going to really matter in the scheme of things. Seeding possibly, but
it was a really clean game, though. Not a lot of turnovers. Gabriel spun it around, 340, 2 touchdowns. Howard spun it around really well too, 326, 2 touchdowns.
But 8 penalties for Ohio State.
Gotta be more disciplined.
You gotta be more disciplined.
A lot of holding, a lot of bad defensive penalties. So, Travion Henderson had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a couple long runs that kind of helped that. Quinshon Judkins was not as effective. So, honestly, the opposite of what I thought is, Ohio State would just run the ball to control the game, and actually turned out they just threw it all over the place. So.
Yeah. But, game of the year part 2. I don't know. How did we feel about that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was a back and forth game. No team really ever had it fully. There were a couple chances Ohio State had early to try to put this away, try to get over the hump. They could have extended it to 2 touchdowns and just couldn't get there. Shot themselves in the foot. Have to settle for field goals. There were a couple times that Ohio State really missed on chances to capitalize. So.
Yeah. But
kudos to Oregon. We've been haters.
We have. And you know who did win, though?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there we go. LSU, baby. Go Tigers.
Here's the bandwagon. The Bayou bandwagon back. Oh, yeah, look how good we are now.
Whoa. I'm not saying anything like that, but I did say, did I not pick LSU last week? I said LSU's going to beat Ole Miss. You weren't fucking buying it.
No.
But here we are. Here we are. Oh, man, the Ole Miss. I knew Ole Miss wasn't that good. People like you have been hyping Ole Miss up since the preseason, thinking that Jackson Dart is the next.
Jackson Dart played fine. This wasn't a Jackson Dart issue.
I'm just saying, I think that people like you have been thinking Ole Miss is so good.
No, it hurt.
Not saying that LSU is really that good
either. It hurt
either.
that Parrish got hurt.
That it was just the injury.
Ole Miss, top running back getting hurt.
Well, if he didn't get hurt, they would have won.
They would have.
Right. Now LSU still would have found a way. That's the thing, is the defense is improving this year. They held this elite offense. That's just
it is an elite
offense. One of the top in the country, is from what I'm hearing from the other side of the table.
Yeah.
And they held them to 26 points, which that's all you can ask for such an elite offense. And they managed to squeak out some extra points right at the end, it felt good. It felt good.
I'm glad you had your day.
So
the Bayou Bengals have their day.
Let's go.
So
go Tigers. But that's
isn't it Dro Tigers or something?
No, it's G. I don't know how to spell it actually.
Oh.
It's Geaux actually. It's not grow. It's go. It's just spelled differently.
Joe.
No. But yeah, so that was that game.
It's a shame.
Huge. No, it was great.
It was a shame.
And then of course Penn State at USC. Man, now USC surprised me here.
What, that they were actually able to keep it close?
I was.
This was unfortunate because I backed, Derek, listener, gave us his picks last week, and he had Penn State at the 4.5. It got down to 3.5. I took it at 3.5.
Ouch. Yeah. That hurts.
Yeah. I was really hoping for a cover there, but it is what it is. Penn State did enough to win on the road, but yeah, I was impressed with USC.
Yeah, I think it just took enough losses in a row, or I don't know, I guess, in a row.
Yeah.
To really get them, get their shit together. But remember when they were ranked top 10 or at least 11?
I mean, they showed it for the first half, and then they, let Penn State go on a run in the second half. So
yeah,
is that a little bit of classic USC?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, they still lost. I mean, I guess what can I say? They still lost. So it's still kind of proving who they are. But
I mean, really though, the story here is Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
17 catches, 224.
Yeah.
And a tud.
Yeah.
For Penn State.
We think they got some
tight
offense
end, man.
now. They got
That's a white tight end.
Yeah.
That's the next coming of Travis Kelce.
Well, I mean,
kind of.
There is a lot of white tight ends. That's the elite tight ends are usually white. That's the position they get. Well, I guess Tony G.
Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham.
Right. So never mind. Yeah. But there's still
Delaney Walker, throwback to Delaney Walker.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
But as far as, this game goes, Penn State actually does have some offense now.
I like Penn State.
I will have to say their defense sucks now because now they're giving up 30 points to USC.
It's not the same defense that it used to be.
No, it's not like how it used to be where, they would just win games 7-0.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Yeah, they
and
used
then
to
not
be
make it
more
into
like
the playoffs.
Iowa-based.
Yeah.
Not
but
score.
better. Yeah. But then really the big, we have yet to talk about this one, but Alabama squeaks by South Carolina 27-20. What happened, guys? 27-25.
Man, we thought this was a bounce back for Bama. This seemed like a perfect spot for Bama to get right. They did not. They let South Carolina hang around. They fucking tried to give South Carolina the game at the end. I don't know what to think of Alabama right now. I mean, South Carolina played a very, very good game. So, we don't want to take anything away from, what South Carolina did. Jalen Milroe, that was not impressive. Turning the ball over multiple times, they didn't have any run game.
Well, and it's I think it's kind of what we saw after the Georgia game was kind of we praised Alabama so much, and we praised Milroe and saying how he could handle himself, how he seemed like he was very poised and everything. But honestly, it just comes down to sometimes just seeing what happens, seeing how it unfolds after that. And that's 2 straight games, one of a loss, one of, a near loss to a team that they should have easily been beating and almost lost again. I mean, is it showing that is it a coaching thing? Is it a coaching staff thing, a morale, a team culture thing of trying to keep your head on straight after a big win? Or what do you think that is?
I don't know what that is. Really, you can make the argument pretty easily. South Carolina should have won this game. They turned the ball over 4 times and only lost by 2 and had a chance at the end. I think there's got to be a little concern. Well, clearly, obviously, I don't think you ever cheer for Bama.
No,
that wasn't good for the bets either. I thought they would destroy them.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Did we put any bets on that?
Yeah, we had 21.5.
Yeah, we did.
Alabama, we were like, this should be a good spot to lay.
That didn't help. No.
So 2 games we got screwed on, Ohio State and Bama.
Man,
but we got one. We got one.
We did.
Over 44.5, depending on when you took it. The Buffalo-Toledo game.
Man.
I talked about this would be Toledo's offense. Buffalo actually didn't do much.
No.
So, 30-15.
Hey.
Got 45.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that was a 2-point conversion after a touchdown. It's the only reason we covered. So, covered it. Win over 44.5 easily.
Yeah.
Cool 45.
Sure.
That's all you need.
You just need one.
You don't get extra money if they win by 10 over or 1 over or a half a point over.
No. And it was a rough week in betting. Listener Kevin Patterson, he had a rough day as well. He got a couple more that we didn't get. He got the Oregon one, but his boys at Rutgers got stomped by Wisconsin.
Let's go.
So, he wasn't perfect either on the day.
No, Derek had a good day, though, too.
Yeah?
Derek had the Notre Dame game. Riley Leonard and them, the offense looked electric. They covered that number easily.
Yeah.
So Derek gave out some winners, too.
Yeah, so the people of the show, you guys are delivering winners to everybody as well.
Yeah. Overall, I think probably as a show, as a listener group, I think we were probably around 500 with everybody's bets on there. I think we're
so we're breaking even. That's great.
That's good.
You really want
to
just not lose money.
That's really the goal.
Wow.
You know what did cash though?
What's that?
Georgia Tech over win total for the season.
Oh man, already.
Let's go.
Man.
Over 4.5.
Wow.
Over 4.5.
Look at that.
Walk-off touchdown, basically, against North Carolina. North Carolina ties the game. A minute left. Georgia Tech's like, we're just going to try to run the ball. Boom. Breaks it off to the crib. It was great.
It would
absolutely
have been
electric.
Kind of rough if they wouldn't have got it. After the start that they had.
It was, obviously, and their schedule gets a lot harder.
But hey, they did it.
King went down too with an injury, so North Carolina got back into that game because the offense obviously slowed down, losing their quarterback who kind of does everything.
Yeah.
But they got the win. We got the over. We're 1 game away from bowl eligibility.
Whoa. Let's not get out of hand here. Let's calm down. Let's not get out of hand.
It was a big win.
It's
a win.
Yeah.
It's a win.
No, it's a
big
win.
Off.
Big win.
couple other notable performances. One's obviously about a Heisman candidate.
Yep.
Ashton Gente.
Man, the fact that this guy wasn't like more of
31 carries, 217 and a touchdown, obviously against a shitty Hawaii team, but nevertheless, still a solid game.
Just knocking off 217-point games like it's,
I think he's down to minus 150 now for the Heisman.
That is crazy.
Or plus 150. Plus 150. I apologize.
That is a crazy surge for just like out of nowhere. This dude was like plus.
Once we started talking about him on the show.
I mean, people start to hear things. That's the thing is we
get
the word out there.
They're following.
People start figuring out, wait, maybe we should be looking closer at this guy. We'll see where the money's going. And all of a sudden, big money starts shifting.
We're just trying to change the narrative. Let the non-Power 4 teams get a Heisman up there.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about it like week 1 or 2. I mean, we talked about kind of how it's like going to be hard for him to get one.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden,
he's him.
Yeah. And he is. I mean, he is.
Did you see the comparisons? When he's in the backfield, he like stands.
Yeah, the Michael Myers. Yeah, I love it.
When you watch it more, you're like, I see
That's the way.
I see it.
Yeah.
It is kind of intimidating.
It is. Just standing there like it's no big deal. Just whatever you're going to do. Yeah.
Give me the fucking ball. Let's go.
Like it. You kind of already mentioned another big performance there, Riley Leonard.
Yep.
He just destroyed him. 229 and 3 tutties. Stanford. I mean,
we're going to also talk about a notable performance that sucked. Cam Rising.
Well, I mean,
told you they were better off without Cam coming back.
I was going to say, is that really notable? I mean, we kind of know.
Yeah, 3 interceptions and they lose to Arizona State, dropping a game they really shouldn't.
I mean, he's just got to stick with his folk music, He's just a folk singer.
He needs to retire and start collecting his fucking Social Security.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. Like he's not good.
I'm telling you,
he's not good.
He's just got to focus on his folk music career and pirate activities because that's what he looks like. That's what he is. He's not a quarterback.
No, he's not.
And
I don't even know if he's a good pirate.
He's not even doing well at pirating. I mean,
no, he turns it over.
Yeah, you don't want to turn over the booty.
He'd probably drop the booty.
Yeah, you don't want to turn over the booty, that's for sure. But on that note, that's college for weeks. What do we say that was 7, right?
Yeah, man. We're in week 8.
Man.
Week 8 coming up.
So, I mean, a couple big matchups this week. Not quite. No games of the year coming up.
Whoa. Well, you got a couple potentials.
Oh, big game probably game of the year. Georgia Tech at
Notre Dame comes into Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
it's not game of the year, but
it's up there for sure.
It's up there. Yeah. I mean, Georgia Tech 5-2.
Right.
Notre Dame's coming in.
Right.
Notre Dame's probably. I mean, they're the favorite. They're like, I think it got to like 11. It opened at like 5.
Yeah.
I think Georgia Tech could be live in this game, though.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason. Obviously, if
that's
Haynes
what you
King
would say,
can't play, then no, it's not going to look good. Like if they're on their backup quarterback, Georgia Tech's not going to have a chance.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Notre Dame hasn't been on top of their game all season. They've lost early on. They're not
up and down. They're up and down. Yeah, crush or they looked really bad.
And maybe right now they're looking pretty good though. So it's tough.
They're due.
But going into Georgia Tech, I don't know how much that stadium gets buzzing.
I mean, they're playing at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so they're in downtown Atlanta. Big game.
That is a big game.
Get big national stage. I mean,
so all right. What are your thoughts on that one? You think you're gonna bet it? You're gonna go on Georgia Tech?
I don't like betting my own team.
Well, you did.
I did on the season win total.
Yeah.
Game to game, though, I just want wins. I don't want.
All right. Well, but if you were trying to tell other people,
I'd probably take Notre Dame at minus 11 and a half.
Ouch.
Do you know why I'm doing that?
No.
It's a little reverse psychology.
Oh, I see.
If we go back to episode 1, week 1, I said I would probably play Florida State and the points against Georgia Tech. What happened? Georgia Tech beat Florida State.
I see.
It's a little reverse mojo.
Okay, well, if you guys know how to play this, then that means that you do actually want to take Georgia Tech here because he's playing.
I'm playing the opposite side. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be happy either way. Either I win money or Georgia Tech wins. I can live with either option.
Okay.
Kind of hedging in life.
Right. We're a big hedging show.
Yeah.
Some of our listeners have already brought that up to our attention. You got to hedge sometimes. You can't just go all in on one take. You got to save like a little bit of the last, the other side.
Nah, we're all in.
All in on those Hornets buzzing.
Oh my God.
All right. Well,
we're gonna have one less host.
Yeah. On to the actual, game of
Nebraska
the year.
at Indiana.
No, that's another big one.
It is.
We'll save the actual game of the year, part 3.
You got to build it up
until the last. We'll go over that one last. But Nebraska at
Patrick Mahomes versus Curtis Rourke.
Yeah.
Indiana's still undefeated.
Yeah.
Indiana's looked really, really good.
I guess not that surprising. I heard good things coming into the season from some Indiana folk that I frequent with.
You got taps into the Indiana community.
I do. Unfortunately,
in Bloomington.
I love the people, but unfortunately, from a sports perspective, I do have taps into it.
That's a shame.
Shout out Danky.
Oh, Danky, a subscriber.
Great friend, but come on, Indianapolis fan. Come on. Yeah.
Is he a Hoosier fan?
Not really, no. But his wife, I think, went there,
so she's a Hoosier.
She might be, or her family might have. I don't even want to place any Hoosiers anywhere. But I did hear the intel from them that Indiana is actually looking pretty hot this year, and so far, so good, because they're undefeated, and as good as Nebraska has looked at times, and as good as we want them to be, is by we, I mean me, just because I don't even know why. It's just time, right?
You want Patrick Mahomes Jr. to thrive. Is that why?
Right. I don't know what it is really, but they just can't seem to actually put anything together. And so that's why I will say Indiana will probably win this game.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got for
it's
bet?
6.5 right now for Indiana's obviously favored. That
seems
line, I don't like a line. I don't like that line.
No?
I'd probably take Nebraska with
Okay.
the points. I think Indiana wins, but 6.5 just seems a little high.
I think I'm taking Indiana with points here.
You think they'll cover a touchdown?
I think they're going to cover.
I mean, they've shown no reason they can't.
This might be their biggest test.
I think so, and I think Nebraska can score with them. So I think that's where it gets a little dicey for me on why I think I want the points with Nebraska is I think they can score enough to just cover at the back end.
Yeah.
They might be down 10 points going in, score a touchdown, get to a field goal, but no time left.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I want Nebraska, but I like Indiana. I love what Curtis Rourke has been doing. No affiliation.
No?
He's supposed to with a K, so
you guys
we're already
aren't-
not friends.
I would have thought you guys were related somehow.
Nah.
Interesting.
No. He's supposed to with a K. The far, far less superior option.
Oh man, don't if you're a Curtis with a K out there.
Yeah, we're a Pro C shirt.
That's rough. We might have just lost some subscribers.
We're a Pro C show.
Well, anyway, I got Indiana, you got Nebraska. As far as you got
Nebraska,
you got Indiana, but yeah.
Yep.
Another big game this week. We already talked to Alabama. The show. Alabama at Tennessee. Man, my current Heisman, as I have 3 Heisman bets right now, my current Heisman, who's drastically fallen off as well.
Jalen Milroe?
No, surprisingly, could have been. He's also drastically fallen off, but Alamaleva?
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's hurting real bad, and it's at Tennessee, though, and the way that Alabama has been playing, there's hope. However, I don't love the fact that there has been 2 terrible weeks of Alabama.
I was like, have you seen also there's been multiple terrible weeks at Tennessee?
We haven't talked about that, but
they haven't been playing well either.
Yeah.
Down the stretch, Tennessee's struggled the last couple of weeks. Their offense has kind of puttered along. Remember, they were high flying the first few weeks. Now it's been kind of a slow grind. I mean, 25 against Oklahoma, only 14 against Arkansas, only 23 against Florida. This just doesn't set up well, I don't think, for Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I mean, first off, what's the spread looking like?
The line's -3 Alabama. This is actually going to be one of my bets of the week. One of my lock it in ones is Alabama -3.
Okay.
This just feels like Bama has to turn a corner.
You think?
If they play another game like they just did against South Carolina, they're going to lose this game.
Yeah.
And they're going to kind of play themselves out of the playoff. So I think Alabama gets right. Obviously, the rivalry with Tennessee is pretty big. They got their get back last year after losing in 2022. But now they go back to Tennessee. I imagine they're going to want to get a dub here.
I mean, just out of pure principle, I can't agree with that statement. Just can't be betting for Bama, especially against my Heisman. Yeah, especially against my Heisman.
That's actually why I'm betting this too.
Can't do it.
Freshman quarterback going against a Bama defense. Seems like he's
crap Bama defense.
Whoa.
They're out here giving up points to South Carolina and Vanderbilt. Come on.
I'm not trusting the freshman. I think this is too big of a game.
Well, like I just said, he's been struggling. Tennessee has kind of been struggling as a whole, but definitely he has. I mean, they've dropped all the way to 11. I think they were at 4 at one point. So it's not that. I mean, Alabama was 1 after their big win.
That was very short.
So
short stint.
I'm gonna just out of principle say we're going Tennessee here. We're taking the win. We're going win and all.
You want money line?
I want
Tennessee.
money line.
You want
Tennessee
plus money.
Give me the plus money.
Oh.
And now to the game of the week. Game of the year, part 3. We've been talking about this matchup since probably week 1, maybe week 0 of the show.
Like this was going to be one of the ones to look at.
And we were looking at this nice. We didn't know that Texas would be 1 at this point, but we also didn't know that Georgia would be 5. We probably wouldn't have known that.
We thought it would have been like switched.
Yeah.
We thought Georgia would be 1 coming into this. Texas probably at 5 or 3 or 4.
Well, we probably didn't think we wouldn't have guessed this ranking 2 or 3 weeks ago either.
No.
Just the way things have unfolded, we got Georgia at Texas. What's kind of the look here for this one? What are we thinking? We're, I personally, I guess I can give my take first.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna just the fact that it's at Texas, they're gonna roll this week, and Ewers is gonna clean up a little bit. Like it was, like you said, it was a ground game for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna have to do more than just a ground game if you're gonna want to win against Georgia. You're gonna have to have a complete package. So at home, Texas.
Texas is -5 currently.
They're smart.
It'll
Vegas
be a
is smart.
nice 81-degree day in Austin, Texas.
Well, that plays in.
I mean, the heat and the exhaustion does matter, like in these games. So
you're a Weather Channel guy, but
yeah.
Do you do ET as well? Is McConaughey going to be there?
I heard he has.
Okay,
he's going to be there.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. That does help too. That plays in. Get the guys fired up.
I mean, he was there for the big game at Michigan where they crushed, and he picked it on like College Game Day.
Yeah.
So yeah, my sources are Matthew McConaughey will be there.
Okay, so now that I've heard we're sitting at what was it, 6? 5.
Kind of a dead spot.
That hurts.
You don't like it? You just said they're gonna roll, so 5 shouldn't be much to cover.
You're right.
Do you think they're gonna roll by a touchdown?
They're gonna roll. Dude, it's tough. It's tough to get a full touchdown on Georgia.
It is. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
They're smart. I think this one honestly is where you just take like the spread. You don't even go like, I think Texas will win this game, but I don't know if it's going to be by 6 or whatever. So
I think Georgia wins this game.
Really?
I think I'm going to sprinkle Georgia on the money line.
All right.
I think Georgia's starting to trend back the right way. Sure. Obviously, the loss to Alabama sucked. They've played okay the last 2 weeks. Texas has been very crisp all year. I think Ewers just turns it over a little more this game. And I think Georgia just kind of plays their style. Game. Yeah. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that like this is Georgia game. Texas is due to lose one.
I don't even like Texas that much, but for some reason I think that I do this year. I don't know. I think
it's good for the nation when Texas is good. Like I really believe that. The Vince Young years were great. Like people like when Texas is good.
I think I'm just tired of Georgia is really what it is. And I like the Arch Manning.
Superior to LSU. You're like the little brother.
Well, who's got the best rookie quarterback in the league right now? That's the Commanders. Who had the Heisman Trophy winner,
Caleb
Jane
Williams.
Daniels.
Pretty good too.
Caleb Williams, you hated on Caleb Williams the last
he just
4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, all right, well, that's what we got for college football this week. I guess that's a good segue into.
We got a couple bets.
I mean, we can cover the bets, I suppose.
We got to make money for the people.
All right, what other bets you got?
I mean, we gave.
I would say you gave
one of
them. You gave Right.
Gave one of them. Alabama versus Tennessee. Like I said, I'm taking -3 with Alabama. They're coming back off a really disappointing game against South Carolina. I think they're going to kind of get laid into about like how that performance like ended because they tried to give it away. I just think Iamaleava is going to turn the ball over. I think it's a bad matchup for Tennessee right now because they look to be stumbling as well. Other game, we're going to go Fresno State versus Nevada.
Oh,
Fresno State is a 3-point favorite. Give me Fresno State. Fresno State coming off back-to-back losses. This game matters a lot for bowl eligibility for them, which for non-power like 4 teams, like bowls matter. It's more revenue, it's more exposure. Kids get a little more games. Nevada just got their first home win in nearly a year against an FBS team last week, and they almost blew it. So I think Nevada kind of exerted all their energy last week. So I have no problem with Fresno coming into Nevada. Also, Fresno's defense is really good. They held a quality Washington State offense to 25 last week. And part of that 25 came off a pick 6. So Fresno State, I think, gets right, covers 3 against Nevada.
I mean, I'm loving this little spicy kind of, we're not just all mainstream stuff here. We're going with Fresno State versus Nevada. You don't. I mean,
those are where
we see
we've
them
had
on
some
TV,
good
but
money. I mean, that's how our overs in these random games are going. So why not get a little action on the spread?
All right, this one would be a little off script maybe, but what do you got for like Mizzou this week? We got any bets for Mizzou?
That is the other best bet. It's like he looked at the docket.
I don't know.
You didn't know that was happening.
I don't have that. I was just trying to throw it out there. I don't know, but
Auburn goes into Mizzou this week.
All right.
Mizzou is a 4.5-point favorite currently. Give me the Tigers.
Whoa. Excuse me?
Of Mizzou.
Oh, I was going to say, which one are we talking? All right.
Yeah, Tigers will win this game either way. But Mizzou had Auburn's number last time they played and crushed them. Also, Mizzou basically had a bye week this past week against UMass. Right in the middle of SEC play while all these teams are playing hard teams. Mizzou comes off a bye.
UMass is a tough team.
Yeah.
For
Mizzou covered
schools.
Mizzou covered. They won 45-3 or whatever.
They needed to after the way this has been going.
Auburn also turns the ball over a good amount. And Mizzou's defense is actually pretty good. Outside of the one really bad performance against A&M where it got out of control. But that was because A&M's run game is strong. Auburn doesn't have that strong of a run game. Their passing game's just middle of the way. So they're kind of prone to the turnover, and I think Mizzou at home kind of rides high and kind of keeps trying to turn their season around.
For some reason, this feels bold to me.
Why?
I mean, not that...
because we have also hated on Mizzou.
We have.
I know listener Kevin's probably not going to like the Mizzou pick. He's probably going to back Auburn.
He's definitely going to. The way he's been picking these
He
bets.
doesn't like Auburn, I don't think, either, though, because he's a Kentucky guy. So
that's true. Sound off in the chat, K-Pet. Let us know what your thoughts are on that one.
But no, lock it in. Mizzou -4.5. So we got Fresno State -3, Mizzou -4.5, Alabama -3. 3-0 this week.
Man.
Let's get it.
All right. And then I'm just going to throw out like a random, see if you're betting this one. I have no idea. Alabama versus Tennessee. Is that one of the bets this week?
Yeah, I just told you that.
Oh, man.
I just told you.
Oh, man.
Alabama -3 versus Tennessee. We kind of talked about that already.
We already did talk about that one.
You just wanted to throw it I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm not reading off the doc. I'm just throwing, I'm just throwing things out there.
I'm just spitballing here, you know?
I don't know. I'm just seeing it as we go.
Yeah, I think we got a profitable week in college football,
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Make sure you guys next time send us your bets, send us your spicy takes.
Oh yeah, we'll include
them on the show, have them air just like we did last week.
Listeners have been pretty solid on their picks.
Yeah, I mean the bets have come through pretty strong.
No bet's a dumb bet until it loses.
Yeah, then it's really
it's dumb. All got legs until it loses.
And it's really dumb. Then you're gonna look so dumb. But
who's judging?
But you know what? You're gonna also look really courageous for making that bet. Wouldn't you rather be courageous?
I think so. I think that's what they should be.
Fortune favors the bold.
Life advice.
Are we good to move on to NFL now?
I think we can go to NFL.
All right, now for what the people want to hear, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we are currently now into week 7 of the
That's
NFL,
crazy, man.
Which is nuts. Week 6, we had probably the weakest slate of games that we've had all season. I don't know if it's just
a lot of bye weeks.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. But
it's
we did have
some matchups.
We had some bangers. We had the Commanders at Ravens, which we knew was going to be game of the week.
Yeah.
And kind of what we said, Ravens take that one, 30-23. But you know what? The Commanders held their own and like fought in there more than I kind of thought they would. I thought it was kind of going to be a humbling moment for Jaden Daniels, but it really wasn't.
No, I mean, Jaden played well. Yeah, he didn't really turn the ball over. 269 in the air, 2 touchdowns. He didn't run. The problem was Washington had no run game.
No.
There was no balance, so that kind of favored Baltimore, forced Washington to just throwing possessions, and Baltimore just controlled the game like they normally do.
Yeah.
I mean, Derrick Henry had 24 carries, 132, 2 touchdowns, just chugging away.
I say what's new. I mean
that's just
Derrick Henry every week now.
And Lamar was good. 300 yards passing, a touchdown, ran for 40, so only threw the 1 pick. Zay Flowers had a huge week.
He's coming around too.
9 catches on 9 targets for 132.
Both of them with 132 this week, him and Henry. But I mean, yeah, it was a huge week for them, and the Commanders defense hasn't been like the best all season. They've been fine. It's more been the offense that's been keeping them in these games and winning them for them. So there's really no surprise here now that the Ravens have kind of caught their stride, which is kind of funny because it's like we started the season, they were 0-2 to start the season.
Yeah, we were like, uh-oh, what's wrong in Baltimore?
And guess in 2-0 was the Saints.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the script is completely flipped. The Ravens have won 4 straight. Saints have lost 4 straight. And the Saints are just falling apart. They are falling apart. You've got Taysom Hill, who has been out basically all season besides like a quarter that he came in and scored 2 touchdowns and then got injured again. Now, this week, we've got Olave getting a concussion. We already had Derek Carr out.
Yep. And Shaheed's out now. He's got, I think, like a torn meniscus or something. So he's going to be out for weeks.
Yeah. So all of a sudden we've got, things are just firing off, which, this might lead to one of our favorite segments, a little hybrid of the segment, really. Oh. It's not usually what we do here.
What are we doing?
Maybe let's pitch to it.
Who's this? Who's that? Yeah. Who's this? Who's that?
Yeah, so usually we do this segment, Who's This, Who's That. It's usually for the college show that we used to do, and we cover a team that no one really ever hears too much about.
We've talked about Texas A&M Commerce.
Right. Texas A&M Commerce. We've talked about, Frostburg State.
Yeah.
Sacramento State.
Yeah, we've picked some bangers out of this. Now we're going to start picking players.
We can pick some players. We can talk about some lesser-known players. But how about this week we do a little Bub Means?
Bub?
You know Bub Means, right?
Yeah, by all means, talk about him.
Bub Means caught 6 receptions and a touchdown last week. Out of nowhere. Did anybody know who this guy is? I didn't know who he was. Maybe it's just me being uneducated. This guy he's from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's 23 years old. He just got drafted this year. He was the 170th pick, round 5 of the Saints. And do you know anything about his college career?
Not off the top of my head.
Well, that's a shame. Apparently it's enough to get drafted in the 5th round by the Saints. But this guy, he initially played for Tennessee in 2019. Then he decided to go to Louisiana Tech with the Bulldogs there. It's the natural move from Tennessee to Louisiana Tech. And then finished his college career in Pittsburgh.
Oh, so,
big pick guy.
Should have known.
Yeah, this is all just...
It sounds like he's basically Larry Fitzgerald.
When
he came out of Pitt, right?
Something like that. He attended Lovejoy High School in Lovejoy, Georgia. In 2 seasons, he recorded nearly 900 yards and 11 touchdown receptions. So this guy was a stud. 3-star recruit. Okay, maybe not that much of a stud.
I was like, what? Played
in college football. He got offers from Northwestern and Rutgers as well, just to let you know. But yeah, so that's really not as exciting as some of our schools that we cover in this segment. But that's pretty much all I've got on this guy because you really can't find much on him.
So that's who's this?
Yeah, that's who's this, who's that.
All right.
But yeah, look for Bub Means this week. They have nobody because they have Olave's out, Shaheed's out.
Are you betting Bub's touchdown, anytime touchdown this week?
You know, we were considering this for the propaganda this week as the show propaganda to get the anytime Bub Means touchdown. It's great money right now.
I might just throw a whole band at it.
It is like I can't remember the exact amount, but it's like a times 7.
Oh,
which
plus,
is
little plus
spicy.
700. Oh.
Yeah, because he's all they got, and you know this guy is a 3-star college.
He will be the
recruit,
means of production for the Saints this week.
He might be in control of the means of production.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So anyway, look for Bub Means this week. Now that you know he was a player of many teams, you know
he's a well-traveled.
He's a volunteer. He's a bulldog. He's a what is Pittsburgh?
Panthers.
Yeah, he's a Panther. And he's a Saint, so well-traveled.
I mean, it's always good to be a volunteer and a Saint. I feel like they go
hand in hand.
Hand in hand. You're doing God's work.
Yeah. And you know who else was doing God's work this week?
Who's that?
The Lions. Oh. Man. 47
that
to 9.
Like that was some devil's work against the Cowboys.
You love to see it, really. I mean, this is just everybody loves it.
Aren't we a pro-Cowboys show?
Are we?
I don't think so.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We may have this Texas helmet on the table, but that doesn't mean that
that's the true
we're just
team
showing
of Texas.
Right. Now that's the question. Who would win, Texas or the Cowboys right now? It's close.
Give me the horns.
Horn up.
Horn up. I don't.
That's not
is that a Viagra commercial. I think we just plugged.
I think it's horns. Horns up. Plural,
yeah, not horny
one.
up or just horn.
But yeah, I mean, so anyways, that was just an absolute just stomping.
That was great. The Lions did it every which way.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to get lineman touchdowns multiple times just as like a here
just
you go.
To show them. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Jerry's birthday. Man, that's got to hurt.
That's not a great birthday present.
That is not.
They just ruined Jerry's world.
Jerry's world was upended.
Yeah, the Lions were spectacular.
What do we think of the Cowboys now?
They're trash.
Yeah. Because we knew what the
Dak
Lions
was
were.
not worth the money.
Yeah.
They have no balance. The defense, yes, I know it was banged up, but the defense is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the defenses look terrible basically every week. They have no run game. Zeke averages like 1.5 yards a carry, it seems like, and Dowdle's been fine when he gets the ball, but Cowboys find themselves behind so quick in all these games that they're stuck throwing the ball 50 times. They don't have the receivers for that. I mean, they got CD, but Cooks is hurt.
Yeah.
It's easy to scheme up defensively against the Cowboys when you know they can only throw the ball. So,
well, and you got David Montgomery just running it down their throat too.
Montgomery,
just
right after he got paid,
beast.
then just gets multiple touchdowns.
Dude's just one of the most underrated running backs.
Oh
in the
yeah,
NFL,
we've talked about that all year.
Pretty much every episode so far.
We love David Montgomery.
Yeah.
We loved Montgomery coming out of Iowa State.
Oh yeah,
we've loved him since they jumped. So
yeah, pretty rough for those Cowboys, and you'll love to see it.
Yeah.
Also kind of rough for those Jets at home.
Oh,
man.
J-E-T.
The Bills win 23-20. It was a close game though. It could have gone either way, but
I felt like
classic
the Bills
Jets move there.
had it, but then they kind of laid off the gas.
Yeah.
Greg the leg couldn't make anything.
I mean,
it was windy.
We saw a vintage Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary at the end of the half.
That was
just vintage
dime. A dime to Alan Lazard.
Clearly, no one in history has ever been that successful at Hail Marys.
They were saying it was luck, but like if you do it 4 times, is it really luck?
No, I don't think it is.
Skill,
I think at this
right?
point it's become skill.
Like Lazard didn't really have to like go crazy up into traffic. Like it was pretty clean from Lazard to get that.
And maybe luck's his skill.
Maybe it is.
Maybe that's what the Jets need because they have zero luck.
All that for still to lose.
Maybe they need to bring Andrew Luck in as their GM or something.
That'd be
get the
spicy take.
Organization moving in the right direction.
What affiliation does Andrew Luck have with the Jets?
None.
Okay,
but
seems reasonable.
But you know what else has affiliation with the Jets and the Bills here is that Davante Adams headed to the Jets.
Oh, we
Yes.
talked about it last week. Where was he going to end up? And we thought it was going to be the Broncos.
Right. I don't know why he didn't end up at the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But, I mean, this kind of just seemed like destiny. Like, we thought this was really going to happen in the offseason. Like,
Yeah.
Davante was pissed.
Back to-
Receiver came out. We're
back
like,
to
oh,
Rodgers.
shit. Like, he's not happy there. The Raiders suck. Like, Davante wants to be back with his boy.
So now what do we think this is going to how do you think this is going to change the Jets season? Do we think it's going to change it at all? Or do you think now Davante is just going to be pissed still just with the Jets now and his buddy, Aaron?
I don't think he'll be as pissed. I think it'll be different because he at least will respect his quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to challenge Rodgers as much. And I mean, they got a lot of weapons there on offense. So Mike Williams drops one ball, at least to a pick, and then he's on the
Yeah.
he's on
out
the
here just
getting cut and traded. Like they're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You're the reason we lost that game.
I mean,
Debatable, but like
to
that's
throw
basically
him-
how the
to throw
New
him-
York
yeah,
and New
to throw
Jersey
him on the
did.
bus like that is like, hey, maybe it is that bad.
Someone's got to.
but-
Mike Williams hasn't looked good though. Like,
No.
it's not. They can pretend, but also, how many weapons do you need to win?
Right.
You have
already
Brees
have enough.
Hall.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like,
I'm sorry, yeah, because he ran one bad route. That's why you lost. Like, get out of here. And yes, don't get me wrong, Greg the Leg missed two.
But
chip-
it was
not even chip
windy as
shots.
shit though. Like the
Yeah.
weather was not conducive for kicking.
Right. I mean, the whatever his name is on the other side, Bass. He missed one too. So
Dude,
like,
his extra point was not close.
Yeah. so I mean, look, they should have still won. Like, I mean, yes, they got out of hand. Like you kind of said, like the Bills were kind of gonna win that game anyway.
Yeah.
But
Josh Allen just played a solid game. Josh Allen's been solid all year.
yeah, he's had his ups and downs the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But you know what?
He's not really turning the ball over though.
The thing is about he's got Amari coming to his team.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Another big one, man. This,
Hey, we talked about Amari getting traded.
yeah.
We thought Kansas City like made the most sense, like for the
But
Chiefs.
when
needing
you
to
really
receive.
think about it,
the
the
Bills.
Bills makes a lot of sense.
That's good because now you got like a veteran receiver to go with a very young core. Because
Yeah.
that was kind of what they lost with Diggs was you lost this veteran presence. Like, okay, they have Curtis Samuel, but I'm not considering that a veteran presence really with Curtis Samuel there.
It hasn't proved to be.
Nah, with Shakir and now Keon Coleman's
You
got
kind of
somebody to
need
look
that.
up to.
Yeah.
And it's going to help Keon Coleman now. He should get a little bit better matchup on corners because Amari should demand the one.
Yeah.
And if he's getting two, he's going to cook every two in this league.
Yeah.
I mean, Amari, I'm just so glad for Amari, man. Like, he
You're just
didn't
a big
deserve,
Amari fan.
Yeah, he didn't deserve to be stuck with Deshaun Watson.
No.
He's not that type of person. He's not that type of character.
No. No one deserves to be with Deshaun Watson. Not even the Browns, who
Whoa.
at this point
You
are
don't think
just,
Diddy and Watson are like deserve each other?
you know, that now I don't even know how to take that one.
That's
That's a
1-2
that is
punch.
that is a 1-2
Or is that a
punch that you don't-
slippery slope?
It's a lot of things. I don't even know how to comment on that one. I'm not sure. Obviously, you know what? I'm gonna leave it there. Actually, but yeah, I mean, it should be a huge upgrade for both Amari and for the Bills, and honestly,
And for fantasy owners
and
who
for
have
fantasy,
Amari
yeah.
Cooper,
yeah, I mean this honestly is huge for pretty much everybody involved.
does this make what are the implications for fantasy with Davante though? Is this going to be like, is Davante playable every week now? Like, how much do we think Davante is going to get used?
Well, the
'Cause
problem
there's
is
a lot of mouths to feed over there.
Yeah, the problem is you still got Garrett Wilson on the other side too.
Right. Like, does this make you like Garrett Wilson less or more? Wilson's got so many targets. He leads the NFL in targets. But now maybe he gets a little better coverage options.
Okay, here's my thing. Davante is quite possibly one of the best receivers. All right. In the league right now, he's like top 3.
You still think
I
Davante's
still
top
think
3?
he's top 3. Maybe a hamstring injury, maybe not. But like a healthy Davante is top 3 easily.
Yeah.
Maybe best. Maybe the best receiver based on like route running. Definitely the best route runner, I think.
I'll still look at Justin Jefferson.
You think he's a better route runner?
Jets is pretty good at route running.
I mean, as
I mean-
as an LSU fan, I do appreciate that pick, but I think Davante even has him beat. Like, Justin Jefferson is the best receiver, I would say, overall. But as far as like route running, getting open, and like getting there,
Yeah, I mean,
it's Davante.
Davante understands concepts very well as a route runner, and I mean,
like he's not out there burning every single person, but he gets wide open, and like so does Justin Jefferson. Don't get me wrong.
Jefferson's also like 7 years younger, so he's got a lot more left in his legs. Yeah, I can buy that view. I feel like this hurt. I think it helps Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson can get more separation. I think they'll be able to take deeper shots with Garrett Wilson again. I think in the red zone, though, everything's going to go Davante's way. I mean, we saw that in Green Bay, that back shoulder to Davante, that's impossible to defend. And if you get the best corner lined up with Davante, then you're just going to look to Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson's going to chew up any two corner.
Yeah.
And then if not, you got Alan Lazard, who he knows where he's going to be and when he's going to be there. So like,
right. I mean, this
Alan Lazard is your 3 now with like the familiarity that Rodgers has with him. There's no reason the Jets shouldn't start rattling off wins.
Really, that's the biggest impact. Is what is this going to do to Alan
So if they
Lazard?
don't keep winning, like if they keep losing like they have been, what about Aaron Rodgers? Does this change how you look at him all time?
If they keep losing?
Yeah. And he's made all these moves. Like he's pulled the strings to get some of these guys here, and he's kind of been this outspoken diva.
I think you could make that argument, but you could also make
he's
the
still
argument.
a Hall of Famer, but
Well, I mean, you could also make the argument that Favre did the same thing. He went to the Jets.
Favre was good though when he went to the Vikings.
Did they win the Super Bowl?
No.
They did make a run with the Vikings, but I'm saying he did the same thing with the Jets, and he did. It's the Jets. Like you're not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to tarnish reputation.
I know, but like,
I think if anything, his reputation
there's like
is being
levels to this though.
I think his reputation is more being tarnished by his outspoken.
The way he handled.
Yeah.
I think the way he handles it and he's constructed, but there's also levels to this. Think about other QBs that have left to go to other teams and what they've done with them. He hasn't won shit with the Jets. They haven't been competitive really since he's got there. And yes, there's an injury, and then he's just not looked good this year.
Well, I mean, you can compare the stats to like how they have, each time, and it's like Zach Wilson has just about the same stats as Aaron Rodgers has had thus far this season when he was with the Jets.
Yeah.
But like you kind of said there, all these other quarterbacks have left the Jets and done well. But is it just a Jets problem? Like now just a poison? Internal
Rodgers is kind of a poison to coaches though.
Yeah, I mean when his go-to coach is Nathaniel Hackett, that's a poison to coaches.
Right, and like think about it. Brady left New England. Got a ring with Tampa Bay, made them better. And here's the thing, it's not like he doesn't have weapons with the Jets. He's got all these weapons.
Okay, but like
Peyton Manning left Indy, goes to Denver, wins the Super Bowl. In 2 Super Bowls.
Like, but Tom Brady, I think, is a different
But if Rodgers
quarterback.
wants to be like considered one of these top GOATs, like you got 2 quarterbacks that left teams, went one another, and weren't nearly the distractions.
I mean, I think that he thinks that he's going to do the same thing that they did. But granted, you know what? How many Super Bowls did he win? He didn't win a whole lot with the Packers either. Not that Peyton did either, but...
No, but Peyton won 1 in Indy and then 1 in Denver. Obviously, Brady won.
You can't really like you're not comparing Brady to anybody. But like if you want to compare him to like Peyton Manning, yeah, I can see it. I just think
there's levels to it, especially when you're gonna like start passing blame.
Yeah, the whole Mike Williams thing at the end.
He was also the one who won it out of Green Bay.
My thing is like you started that bad off in the season, and he didn't show up till like OTAs and stuff like that. And he was just acting like it was like, nope. That kind of like annoys me. You're making that much money and you're the guy. Brady would have never done that.
They brought you here to like turn this franchise around, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
And you've got the weapons. You've got more weapons than most teams have. Yeah. Garrett Wilson's an elite 1. Breece Hall is an elite running back. You brought in Alan Lazard that you wanted.
Defense isn't bad either.
No. So like, yeah, they've never had defensive issues. They've got a solid defense. It was like, hey, we're just a quarterback away.
Now they got it. Where are the wins?
Is it really that much different than Russell Wilson?
Oh, wow. That's a take.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know if I can.
Russ won more games with Denver than freaking Rodgers has with the Jets.
The fact that they need to get Davante Adams, that's saying something. Like you said, they already have the weapons.
Right.
They don't need to bring in Davante. you are all in, and if you do not win the Super Bowl this year,
It's a bust.
it's a bust. To say that it's just this year. Like you're buying it for this year. You didn't sign a 2-year deal.
No,
it's got to be
he's
now.
already in. Yeah.
And you're losing. You got a losing record, and it's not looking good.
It kind of like makes Rodgers' career just look meh. Like I feel like his whole career, you'll look back and you'll be like, he should have done more.
I don't know about
One
that.
Super Bowl with all those teams in Green Bay that were good, that he couldn't get them over the hump. And then he won it out and was complaining about weapons. And then Jordan Love steps in, and that offense is firing.
Yeah,
with Jordan Love.
Yeah. Who
is really the issue here?
Whoa.
And don't give me that shit. Nathaniel Hackett is this great god of coaching. We saw him in Denver. That was the worst thing I've ever had to watch.
Shots are being fired at Aaron Rodgers right now.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. It's annoying.
He's saying, I'm just saying, as he's just firing shot after shot at him.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. I do think it's a little bit of like a Jets/Brown situation where like it really doesn't matter who you bring there unless you're bringing like Tom Brady or some guy who's got something like that.
So if you put Tom Brady on this team, do you think he would turn them around?
I think Tom Brady would. I don't think anybody else would though. I mean, we're seeing what Sam Darnold can do when he's not on the Jets. We're seeing we're not seeing what Wilson could do because
he's riding the
But maybe he could be. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, all the weapons, I feel like a lot of quarterbacks could perform pretty well.
Yeah, I would think so.
Darnold never had these weapons either, though, when he was there.
No one had this. This is,
Right, and that's
new.
the thing is they have this whole stacked roster.
No, I get it.
Like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, previous Jets quarterbacks were in a bad spot.
I mean,
there were a lot of not good pieces.
So is that your take? Aaron Rodgers his career is now tarnished by these Jets.
I don't think he's in the top 5 to 6 of quarterbacks all time.
Wow.
I don't see it. Do you?
I do still.
Where you put him in the top 5 all time
of our life, of my personal lifetime. Yes. Maybe not all time. It's hard for me to say.
Is he better than? He's obviously not better than Tom Brady. He's not more accomplished or anything than Peyton Manning.
No.
Drew Brees has the same amount of Super Bowls, more records.
Yeah.
Big Ben's got more Super Bowls.
True. He's right there at 5.
Eli Manning's got two Super Bowls in New York for the Giants.
Yeah.
Who beat Brady.
I mean, if we're just going off Super Bowl wins, that's another thing. Like, you could put a lot of people on that list. Joe Flacco. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it, but
I just don't think Rodgers' career's been as good as it could have been. I feel like there's a lot on the table.
How about this? Relax. RELAX.
Just go take one of his trips that he takes, right?
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Just relax.
Oh, I'm sure that's what the Green Bay fans wanted to hear.
Yeah.
They only got one Super Bowl.
Well,
with a team that should have won multiple.
Hey, easy on the shots against Rodgers, all right? Just
doing it for the Packers fans.
I don't know. The Packers fans do still like Rodgers. Maybe not as much, but
basically he called out their receivers and was like, you guys aren't doing enough around me. And then Jordan Love's like, seems pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Jordan Love doesn't seem to be having issues with the receivers.
Neither is Malik Willis.
Right. I mean, who doesn't want to play for Matt LaFleur?
Seems like a great coach.
Seems like an electric coach.
But you know who the real coach is? Nathaniel Hackett. That's who you want to play for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But speaking of spicy takes, we got one in from JC51.
JC51?
Ironically, or maybe not even ironically, he won the Listener League daily fantasy tournament this week.
Oh, congratulations, so JC51.
He would he's the one who mentioned the Manders 27 hashtag Manders 27 bet last week on the show. Not that spicy of a take, but he said he would like a autographed mug that says habanero spice level or something along those lines.
I think we can do that.
So, all right, we'll see what we can do. He's got a new one though. He submitted in a couple new takes actually.
What are those?
This came in during the Seattle 49ers game.
Okay.
He said that this is a good one. He said that Seattle's throwback jerseys the best in the league.
No.
It's a spicy take. Who do you think's got the best throwback? And I mentioned the Broncos, obviously. Now,
The Broncos
a little biased,
throwback. No, I think the Broncos throwback's like the cleanest. The orange, the light blue, the
but,
throwback.
you just watched that like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will say it's probably second. I think the throwback Seahawks jerseys are sharp.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the color scheme.
take it as a grain of salt. I mean, we are Broncos fans, so
Yeah, but
it's
I
hard
think
to say.
the Broncos throwbacks are like universally like recognized as one of the best, though.
Universal, he says.
Yeah,
Universal.
that means everybody in said universe.
Okay, so also the other spicy take number 2. All right, so what are we giving that take spice level wise? If we're going by
these
Buffalo
are obviously
Wild Wings,
all opinions. Like,
sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings,
right.
hopefully at some point.
I don't think it's that spicy because they're pretty solid.
pretty
I don't know
solid.
how many would acknowledge them
As
as the Seahawks
as
though.
the best ones.
I would say it's what? I would say it's probably more of an Asian zing.
Yeah, I've given it an Asian zing as
Like
well.
I just think people aren't hip to the game with
Right.
like how like clean
How
those
clean
Seahawks
they are.
jerseys really are. I mean, it's a solid jersey.
So I got one that's even spicier than that. I
Oh,
think
hotter than Asian zing?
the Seattle Seahawks have one of the most all-around dynamic offenses in the league.
Oh, why?
Well, I don't have too much
Is that
follow-up there.
spicy?
I don't have too much follow-up there besides the fact that, Geno Smith is leading the league in passing right now. They have 3 receivers who one is aging for sure, but he's actually doesn't look that bad for aging.
Nah,
Got
I really
Lockett.
like Tyler
You've got
Lockett.
DK Metcalf, who is perennially, since his career began, been a top receiver in the league. Whether his stats have proved it or not,
He's
been
a
a
top talent,
Top
for
talent.
sure.
And now Smith and Jigba coming in and actually starting to finally get his wheels going.
I mean,
Spinning.
he was really fucking good at Ohio State. Obviously, the draft capital backs it up.
So you got that, and then look at their running game. You got Walker, who every time he plays, the dude just smashes for like 30 carries and
Yeah.
like 100 yards plus. And then Charbonnet, even when he's not playing, they just like switch off who gets injured at what time, and then Charbonnet comes in and scores. So I was like, once you say it, you're like,
when you look at it, you're like, their
Yeah.
offense from
Yeah.
that standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, as a team, they're not as
Now,
good.
granted, there's a lot of other teams in the league that have very dynamic offense.
I mean,
if you look at on paper, like we just said, the Jets have on paper, they're not winning.
I mean, the Niners' offense is still, I think, the most dynamic.
yeah.
I mean, you take out Christian McCaffrey.
I would say maybe
Mason,
not current 49ers though.
I mean, even Debo, Kittle, and
True.
Like, I think it pushes close.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually think I know the most dynamic one I'd go
Who's
with.
that?
Detroit.
Yep, that's what I was about to say.
Detroit. I think Detroit actually is the most well balanced because they have 2 different running backs that run 2 different styles, but are both super effective. And then they have 2 elite wide receivers in St. Brown and Jamison Williams, and a tight end in Laporta.
Yeah. But I mean, there is the argument made that like Jameson Williams has never truly proven himself until right now.
Yeah, he
like
was
now
hurt
he's
all
starting
last
to
year,
like
though.
make his
But you got Amon-Ra, who's been he's a top 5 receiver.
Yeah. In this league.
Absolutely. And then you have Gibbs and Montgomery, who would be head over heels starters for any other team. Like, they would be the 1A.
Yes.
And nobody else would be close.
Yeah.
And they're both splitting it and still getting work
And the
done.
legend Jared Goff. You didn't even mention.
I know. And they have a Super Bowl participant quarterback.
Participant.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't won, but he's been there.
Has he?
Well, yeah, with the Rams.
No.
Yeah.
Stafford.
No, the first
participant.
time.
Oh, you said participant.
Yeah,
All right.
participant. Yeah.
Fair.
No, not
fair,
a winner,
fair.
participant.
All right. That's fair.
I was like, he's been there. They didn't win, but he was there.
All right. We'll give it to him on that one.
Yeah.
Slide.
But,
I mean,
yeah,
they just
I
put
think
up
the Lions-
47 on the Cowboys. Not that that's that hard these days, but
Still,
like,
47's a lot.
and you know what? I think JC51 is going to be cool with that pick. I've seen him throw some love to the Lions too. So
yeah, so
I think he's going to be cool with that
the
one.
Seahawks is like,
It's close though. When you actually like look at it,
it's a spicy take.
It's spicy, but then when you look at it, you're like, you know what?
I think it's maybe a step above Asian Zing because I don't think many people would. If you said it off the top and like people just gave their instant reaction, I don't know how many people would actually say Seattle.
Right.
I just don't think. I think it would be Niners or Lions.
What would be your, if you had to pick like your ranking system of the top 5?
Top 5 offenses?
Top 5 offenses of top 5 offenses.
I'd go 1. Give me the Lions. Are we saying their current state or when everyone's healthy? Current state, Lions at 1. 2, I'll go with the Niners. 3, I'd go with the Ravens. 4, Texans. And then 5 is tough. 5, I'm between either the Packers or the Vikings.
Yeah.
They're like a split 5 for me. You could take either one.
You say the Bucks?
And the Bucks are right there too. Bucks don't have as good of a run game.
Whoa. Sean Tucker? Come on.
I know.
There's a 3-headed monster
Bucky,
right now.
I know. Yeah, I think it's
That's a tough one to have 5 ranking.
Yeah, I think it's split. Like 5 if you picked either Vikings or the Packers, I'd be fine with either one. Really, the NFC North is just dominant.
Okay. Well, I just looked it up. The one above Asian Zing is spicy garlic, apparently. So
spicy garlic?
Yeah. So you're saying that was a spicy garlic pick?
Yeah, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but you kind of like it.
Something I didn't realize was maybe this is an old outdated. No, this is what it is.
This is the current menu?
This is the current menu. Apparently, no. Yeah, no. This is I'm getting conflicting views here. We need to actually get sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings so that we can
drop
get this
all the
figured
sauces.
out. But I'm gonna give this one a jam and jalapeno.
Oh,
I think
jammin' jalapeno.
I think he's right. I think it is actually pretty dynamic when you actually look at it. But like from an outside perspective, I'm gonna give it some jam and jalapeno.
There's a lot of good offenses right now in the NFL.
There is.
So that's fair.
But anyway, so that's some spicy takes for this week. A couple big games we got. Let's just start with a Thursday night matchup.
Broncos at Saints. Sean Payton going back home. First time back in.
What do you think the odds are here? The Saints are beat up.
Yeah,
we're looking at Bubba Means this week as the leading receiver.
I mean, Broncos are already a field goal favorite here.
Yeah.
On the road.
Broncos have been playing well.
Yeah.
Outside of
last week against the Chargers, which is a debacle.
We don't want to talk about it.
The Broncos, I mean, obviously losing Patrick Surtain with the concussion hurt the
Broncos. That hurts big.
That sucks for the defense because they like to play a lot of man with him. I think Broncos could win here.
Oh, there's a lot of disrespect in the chat. The pregame chat for this game, number one comment just says, Broncos or Saints, and then it just says, absolutely disgusting Thursday Night Football. That's the
absolutely disgusting take.
They didn't even
said that.
They didn't even pick a winner. They just said absolutely disgusting.
I don't know what's disgusting about Bo.
Right. Would you rather have like the Jags and the Colts or something?
Right.
I'm confused. What would you rather have?
Right. I want the Broncos all day. I think the Broncos win.
Yeah.
I guess they cover 3. I don't know. I don't like betting a cover with them because I don't know what you're going to get. This seems like a very low score though.
I agree.
The total number sits at 37.5 and I still think that's high.
Yeah.
This seems like a 17-13.
Right.
Like this seems like under is the play.
Yeah. Another big game we got is the Texans at Packers.
Oh, this
electric
this
offense game. Talking about electric offenses.
Green Bay is a 2.5-point favorite currently.
Well, I mean, at Lambeau, I think that's the only reason. If you take that at the Texans, I think it's 2.5 the other way. So
yeah, I think I like the Packers here at home. Packers are tough to beat at home. They're getting healthy. Man, 56 degrees, slight chance of rain. Maybe more of a ground and pound game, which I think fits Green Bay more.
Maybe Josh Jacobs will actually hit his over this time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he busted our propaganda
also
last
sucks
week.
for the Texans to not have Nico Collins now for the next couple weeks.
Who's leading the league in receiving yards.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's such an electric player. But yeah, no, I think I like the Packers here.
I'm just kind of glad that Mixon is back as well as a Mixon fantasy owner. All of us are happy about that.
Yeah, he's looked like, I mean, I think Joe Mixon might be one of the most underrated fantasy players like over the last like 10 years.
Yeah, no one really
Every
thinks about
year
him.
he's like a top 5 back.
Yeah.
And no one talks about
No
him.
one ever wants to pick him in fantasy.
No
For
one
some
ever
reason.
feels good about him
No.
being like your main guy.
You do it because he's there, but then
you
you're
don't
like,
you don't
"Ah."
like it.
No, you don't like it, but it doesn't matter because he's like top 10 every year.
It's just like he just gets the job done.
He does.
And he's pretty efficient. He scores. It's just like
But I don't know if he's going to get the job done this week.
No.
I'm also going to go Packers here.
the pack.
It's a tough one.
It's a great game.
I like picking the Texans, pretty much every other week, but
I like picking the Packers a lot though too.
me too. Yeah,
Jordan Love.
I'd rather pick the Packers.
Jordan Love was slinging it around out there.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs is back. So like I think we're good. I think Packers here.
So we got a lot of games of the week going. That's a big one this week. It's kind of a reversal from college. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. We got the Lions at Vikings. So we got an undefeated and a team that just stomped 47 points on the Cowboys.
We're just talking all NFC North. NFC North is the best division in football if you look at it.
Oh yeah.
Man, Vikings are a 2-point favorite.
Dude, this one's going to be good because look, we're just talking about one of the most dynamic offenses in the league in the Lions.
Really, both of them.
And the Vikings are just winning. Like they're not. Yes, they have Justin Jefferson, Darno, and Aaron Jones. They're getting it done.
Yeah.
But like from a complete standpoint,
With no Aaron Jones, because I think he's still going to be sidelined with that injury.
right?
I mean, it makes it tough. I like the Lions, I think, on this side.
I think it's due. I think the Vikings are due to lose one, and it's going to be at the hands of the Lions. It's still going to be a good record for them. You're like, oh, your one loss was still Lions. That's fine. But
I mean, the Lions didn't struggle going into Dallas, so I think it being a road game is not a huge thing. Obviously, listener Kevin's probably not going to like this pick.
I believe he's a Vikings fan.
I'm sure he's for Skull Nation.
Yeah.
Do you know where all the Skull Nation people go to watch games here in St. Louis?
Where's that?
That is at Cyberg's on Dorset.
Sponsored by Cyberg's. We are soon to be probably.
I was just there last night.
Wow.
After tax season deadline.
Wow. Are we allowed to be sponsored by multiple sports bars?
I think so. Until one fully sticks and we make money, I think so. I think we can plug all of them until we have anyone that's
if one
not
of you guys
official.
wants to actually throw in, be our
I don't
guest.
care who it is.
All right, so we got a pair of Lions here.
Yeah. Lions just have too many options.
All right, well, another big one. Well, one of the biggest ones. We got our Super Bowl rematch here, a multiple Super Bowl rematch in the Chiefs at Niners.
Niners are 1.5-point favorites. How often do we say that the Chiefs are underdogs?
I love to see it.
I mean, the Niners are 3-3. The Chiefs are 5-0.
Yeah. What's even more flabbergasting is the fact that this is not a night game. This is a 3:25 game.
Well, it'll be nice and 73 degrees in Santa Clara, California.
Is that why?
Yeah, they wanted it to peak like 73-degree weather.
So what you're telling me is this is actually like a noon game for them.
Kinda, yeah.
Because
I mean,
or
it's
a 1
technically
p.m.
a 1
game.
p.m. game for them. So
That's the wild part, I think, more than anything.
How did this game not get flexed into like Sunday night? How is this not Sunday night football?
No. Instead, we have to have Jets and Steelers in Sunday Night Football. That's what we're gonna have instead.
I mean,
that makes total sense to me, right? Yeah, totally.
what
Anyway,
do you think on this game?
Chiefs Niners.
Yeah,
Here's my thoughts on it. I think the Niners are the all-around better team, skill-wise, dynamic offense, all of that said. Chiefs just don't lose. They don't lose, and they still don't. Like the Niners, they're starting to get everybody back now.
Yeah.
Luckily, man, what's our betting looking like here?
1.5 is what the Niners are.
Man, they're like, we can't get this any closer. I gotta. I think it's time. I think it's time.
The points?
They're coming off a bye week. I think it's time. Niners win. Lock it in.
Niners go. Oh, I mean, the Niners didn't have a bye. They had Thursday night.
No, the Chiefs had the bye.
Yeah,
they're coming off the bye, so they're gonna be cold.
Oh,
so lock it in. Niners.
Hot take. They're gonna be cold.
Hot take. They're gonna be cold. Yeah.
I think this favors the Chiefs. Obviously, both Chiefs had 2 weeks to look at this game. Niners played Thursday night the week before, so they had extra prep time too. don't see how you can bet against the Chiefs.
It's hard to.
Getting points too. I'll take 1.5. I mean, shit, I'd probably take the Chiefs on the money line just to win straight up.
Yeah.
I think Brock Purdy's starting to turn the ball over a little more, and the Chiefs' defense is actually pretty good. I think Chris Jones gets after him.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously
I'm
not a pro-Chiefs fan.
Definitely not hating on that pick, but it's time.
Will Taylor Swift
it's time.
be here?
That's a huge factor.
In California?
That is
they
a huge
were
factor.
just in New York for the baseball game.
That's a huge
Guardians Yankees game. Her and Trav were catching a little October baseball.
Trav, big Ohio guy, you know.
Yeah, big Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
Shame. Far superior Yankee team took that game.
Well, seems a little biased.
Whoa. Based off what?
There's
no read.
I don't know.
I don't think they've seen the baseball show yet, so they don't know.
But I'm just going to give him a hint that he's a Yankees fan. So, but we'll move on from that game. We got Ravens at Bucks. That is, in fact, the last big game of the week. Our top games. I mean, that one is a Monday Night Football game. But the other ones, not so much for this week. Who do you got in this one? I guess I can go first on this one. The Ravens are looking like the best team in football right now, just the way that they're playing. Obviously, you take away the first 2 weeks, they're looking like the best team. As long as they don't go back to that. The Bucks are looking like one of the best offenses, although they've been getting beat up sometimes on defense, namely to the Broncos and other teams like that. I don't know. I mean, this to me, yes, you're at the Bucks. Broncos beat them on their home turf. I'm going Ravens here. I don't know what
it's 3.5. It opened at 4.5. It's currently minus 3.5 for
closing.
Baltimore.
I'm still going Baltimore here.
Cover 3.5. I would like this number to be 3 for the Ravens. Hopefully some money comes in and pushes it to 3. I like the Ravens. I think their ability to kind of control the game, they can kind of control the pace of it with Derrick Henry, with Lamar pulling it. The receivers are starting to get a little momentum. We just saw a really good performance from Zay Flowers. I think we saw Mark Andrews touchdown.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews back, maybe. So I think the Ravens just look very cohesive right now. They're in a very good rhythm. They're protecting the ball. So I think Tampa I don't think they can beat them. Not here.
Here's a last minute that I just kind of thrown out there. Man, is Lamar good in big games though? I mean, it's Monday Night Football. I mean, is he gonna be able to shine under the spotlight? I don't know. Are they the better team right now? Yes, but big time Baker. Maybe he bakes. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, I mean,
it's something to think about.
It is. I mean, Lamar, they beat the brakes off Buffalo on Sunday Night Football a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So Lamar played well in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that was geared because Henry dominated too, but Lamar played really well. Yeah, I think they can control the line and kind of control the game script.
Yeah, I think they've figured something out, and I'm still going Ravens here. It was just kind of a last second
it's a fair
consideration.
thing. Obviously, it's hard to match up with Godwin and Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So Baker's really good at distributing the ball. I don't know if Tampa, though, will be able to really run the ball very well. And I think that's going to force Tampa to kind of be one-dimensional here against the Ravens. And once you become one-dimensional, normally that doesn't fare very well. I mean, look at the Cowboys. Like, when you're stuck and the defense knows what you're going to do,
you know you're going to throw it.
You just drop people in coverage, and it makes it very challenging. So, yeah, I think the Ravens here, 82-degree weather. They're undefeated in 82-degree weather.
Oh, right, of course.
Per
sources.
Yeah.
Curtis knows.
Stats and
of course.
Research.
All right, well, let's just do a rapid fire. Let's hit one of our favorite segments. Yeah, so this week, little propaganda action.
Dude, we were so close last week.
Jake, we should have known not to bet Josh Jacobs.
He was the only one. He was a couple yards away, too. That was the frustrating part. We had it.
Yeah, but we got for the bet this week for the show's propaganda. We're gonna I'm going to run it with another Packer, though.
Oh, yeah.
This week, let's go with Jaden Reed, though. Over 58.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I think Christian Watson's probably going to be back, but that doesn't really matter. Jaden Reed's been electric for the Packers. Him and Jordan Love have really started to build a good chemistry. And Jaden Reed pops off the long plays, too. So really, he can get one and be done here. So
Yeah.
I think 58.5 is just low.
Yeah, I agree. And just an easy one to pile on top of that, I want to do Alvin Kamara. Anytime touchdown, over a half touchdown. I mean,
Who else is going to score for the Saints?
I mean, Bub Means, but yeah. But besides him, if they want to score any more touchdowns, they got to have Alvin Kamara score one, and he's the best player on their team. Maybe even when everybody's in, unless you count Olave, who hasn't done a whole lot this season. So I'm thinking this is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, Kamara. It's risky with it being Thursday Night Football. But yeah, I like Alvin Kamara anytime touchdown.
I'm going to let you do this last one because you fired darts at this guy. Endless, relentless amount of darts at this guy.
I did. We're going to go Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Wow. You heard it here, folks.
I mean, they're going against the Steelers. I think this is Rodgers is going to force feed Davante one. And then I think he'll get Garrett Wilson one too, because
So is Davante playing this week, or is he?
I think he practiced.
Oh yeah, so that hamstring injury just timed out well. He's better now. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He popped up behind Aaron Rodgers in a recent interview.
Well, I mean, you can still walk on his hamstring. I don't think he was ever not able to walk on it.
He probably got on the plane pretty quickly. I think he moved all right off the line. So yeah, I think especially, man, they're gonna get in the red zone, get down to the 5, and then we'll see that little back shoulder throw. It's gonna be it never left, and then they'll get Garrett Wilson one too, because Rodgers is gonna be like, "Hey, I didn't forget about you. You don't want to piss off Garrett Wilson either."
So what you're telling
Wilson's
me?
Your future.
So you're telling me is Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl now? All of a sudden, this is a Super Bowl team.
Should be.
Is it gonna happen?
No.
Well, then is this 1.5 passing touchdowns? Is that going to happen then?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, well, that's what we got. I actually like that one as well. I mean, even if Davante wasn't there.
I mean, he hit it last week.
Yeah.
The Lazard touchdown.
He, believe it or not, is top 10 in passing yards this season. Doesn't seem like it, but he actually is.
No, I mean, he's got 9 touchdowns in 6 games. So he's
it's actually
average.
not it's not a terrible one week in and week out. And then you had Davante, who may or may not play. After last week's disappointment, he's going to be coming out aggressive. Yes, they have 2 running backs who...
I mean, the last 2 games he's hit over that total. So
I don't see that changing really this week. So
really, the only game I don't think he did that was the Broncos game where they didn't score at all.
It's hard to score against the Broncos. So.
It is.
Especially in the rain.
Yeah, so week 1 he didn't against the Niners and then against the Broncos.
Yeah.
So out of, there's 6 games...
Yeah,
he's hit it 4 out of 6.
Right. So,
and the Broncos game was because the weather was just atrocious.
Yeah.
So barring any crazy weather,
it's a pretty good bet.
2 touchdowns passing seems like a solid bet there.
I mean, at the Steelers is probably why it's only 1.5, or else it might be.
Steelers defense might be fine,
2.
but they've shown that they are susceptible to giving up points as well.
So. Yeah, that's our propaganda. Lock it in this week. Send in your guys' propagandas.
Let's get some money again.
You join the daily fantasy challenge. See if you can win. See if you can beat JC 51 or you can beat Chester 07. A couple of guys that have been winning recently. Make sure you get your mug sent to you.
Get your merch.
So I mean here we are again, starting in week 7, week 8.
Week 8, week 7.
I mean, you guys didn't ask for another sports show.
You got one.